You're listening to the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play.
The options market can be a confusing place. Sorting through the daily avalanche of data, alerts, updates, articles, and analysis to find the most important information is an overwhelming prospect. But now you have help. Welcome to the Options News Rundown, the only program that breaks through the noise to bring you the most important news and information from the world of options. Every day, we bring you the top 5 option stories curated by the options experts at theoptionsinsider.com, the premier source for options information. The Options News Rundown is brought to you by Market Taker Mentoring, the leader in options trading education. Get trader education, daily trade ideas, and more with a free 1-week trial of Market Taker Mentoring's Live Advantage Group coaching class by visiting markettaker.com/insider. And now it's time to break through the noise. It's time for your Options News Rundown.
Good morning. Today is April 8th, 2019. This is your Options News Rundown. I'm Dan Passarelli. Our first story today comes by way of investing.com, and it is the top 5 things to know in the market on Monday. The first thing to know is Wall Street is set to open lower. Wall Street was set to open the week in cautious fashion, consolidating after last week's gains. After a week without clear progress on U.S.-China trade talks beyond the usual spin, the market will be looking to start the earnings season with trepidation, as a quarter of mostly weaker than expected economic data find their expression in individual earnings stories. Overnight, Asian markets closed broadly lower, with sentiment not helped by reports of a rise in bad loans at Chinese lenders and a 3-year low in Japanese household confidence. European markets also opened lower, as weaker than expected German trade data for February added another verse to a first quarter that has been a chapter of woe. Our second story today: bonds are steady after payrolls. The domestic data calendar is light, with factory goods orders at 10 a.m. Eastern. The consensus forecast is for a 0.5% drop in orders in March after a 0.1% increase in February. Bond markets have steadied in the wake of a broadly positive labor market report on Friday that showed job growth ahead of expectations and wage pressures easing slightly. The 10-year Treasury bond is just back below 2.5%, amid rising expectations that the Federal Reserve may cut interest rates later this year. The Fed is under pressure from Donald Trump to cut rates and restart its bond buying program. It could come under pressure from other parts of Washington later this week, as the spring meeting of the International Monetary Fund and World Bank begin. The IMF's update of its World Economic Outlook is likely to reflect downgraded growth forecasts across the world. The third thing to know today is oil is at new highs on Libya turmoil. Crude oil prices hit another new high for the year after signs of rising violence in OPEC member Libya, stoking fears that the war-torn country could be in for yet another spell of export disruptions. The benchmark WTI futures contract hit a 5-month high of $63.53 per barrel earlier. It has held that level more or less in the wake of comments by Saudi oil minister that global oil stocks are still clearly above their 5-year average, hinting at a desire to extend the current OPEC Plus deal on output restraints past June. The fourth thing to know today is the Brexit deadline looms. Okay, this week really is crunch time for Brexit, As it stands, the UK is due to crash out of the EU without any transitional arrangements in place on Friday at midnight in Brussels. It shouldn't come to that, though. UK Prime Minister Theresa May has already requested a further deadline extension to June 30th, and some of the EU want an even longer one, something that would give time for a thorough rethink of future relations. May signaled at the weekend that she had given up trying to get Parliament to approve her withdrawal agreement. However, her talks with the opposition Labour Party over the weekend, which aimed at finding a cross-party solution, or cynics said, someone to share the blame with, have yielded nothing. And the fifth thing to know today is Pinterest to start marketing for an IPO. After Lyft's bumpy first week as a public company, the owners of image-sharing site Pinterest appear to be taking a cautious approach to their company's IPO. The Wall Street Journal reported that marketing for the shares will begin this week at a range below where the company last sold stock to pre-IPO investors. The latest funding round sold stock at $21.54, giving Pinterest a valuation of $12 billion. Pinterest is the second big tech IPO of the year after Lyft. Although the ride-hailing company ended its first week above its IPO price, the volatility of last week was a clear reminder of the risks involved in bringing unprofitable startups to market at 8-digit valuations. And our second story of the day is from CNBC.com. There were a ton of big analyst calls about major stocks on Monday. Here are the highlights. JP Morgan downgraded General Electric to underweight from market weight. Bank of America downgraded Boeing to neutral from buy. UBS downgraded Starbucks to neutral from buy. Wells Fargo upgraded Procter & Gamble to outperform from market perform. Wells Fargo downgraded Harley-Davidson to market perform from outperform. RBC upgraded Snap to outperform from sector performance. Jeffrey lowered their target price on Tesla to $400 from $450. Raymond James downgraded Southwest Airlines to market perform from outperform. And Jeffries upgraded Wynn Resorts buy from hold. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is news you can use for today, Monday, April 8th, 2019, your Options News Rundown. I'm Dan Passarelli, Trade Smart, and have a great week.
The Options News Rundown is brought to you by Market Taker Mentoring, the leader in options trading education. Get trader education, daily trade ideas, and more with a free 1-week trial of Market Taker Mentoring's Live Advantage Group coaching class by visiting markettaker.com/insider.
The preceding program was a production of the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play. Don't forget to follow along with your favorite programs and submit your own questions for the hosts at twitter.com/options, facebook.com/theoptionsinsider, or via questions@theoptionsinsider.com.